Hi, Asim. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate.
Yeah,
Good,
good.
man.
I'm all
Good.
good, guys. I'm a big fan. You hear that all the time, I know, but I'm a big fan. I watched them
Thank
big
you.
in Japan the other day. I think I must have been upsetting everyone in there because even though there was only three of us, my laugh was the loudest in that cinema
Good.
room. Yeah, my laugh was the actual loudest. But yeah, let's get straight into it, guys. What do you feel like you kind of did differently on this one that you kind of showcased that wasn't in the other series or episodes that you've released?
Um, I think it was about putting us in a new world, like, you know what I mean, like a fish out of water, kind of a new challenge, and also us being successful for the first time. In the TV show, I feel like the biggest success we ever have is maybe doing a gig in Ipswich, you know what I mean? Or
Mm.
like,
Mhm.
or like, I don't know, like Chabuddy lip sync a drunk girl in a rave. Like that's like, do you know what I mean? Or, I don't know, like
Yeah,
I
this is
can't
the
even, or Steve's getting a bit of money from his nan. Like there's really not that many successes or wins we have in the TV show. And the
Mhm.
film is the first time we actually have a proper moment. Like shit, this is our moment. This is our big break. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
song's been used in a massive TV show. We're being flown out to Japan. Like this is the time. This is our chance. So I feel like
yeah.
the stakes are higher for the film. Like
yeah,
there's more to lose. There's more to gain, which ultimately makes it more funnier because it's these, you know, these fucking idiots who are doing it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that's
Yeah,
the main difference.
it was the probably the last sort of thing that we hadn't done really is to take them into like a world of success
Mhm.
to some extent and to explore that fame that they've been chasing for so long to see what would
Mhm.
happen if they did experience it and the realities of fame, which obviously drawing from our own experiences, we know is not all it's cracked up to be,
Yeah,
and that
yeah, yeah,
there's a lot of weirdness involved.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I asked Hugo and Alan this. They gave me their answer, but I definitely wanted to hear your answer on this as well. Since winning the BAFTA in 2017, do you feel like your writing has become a lot more challenging in the sense of where you feel a lot more pressure to deliver more because you have had such a prestigious award, or does it still flow seamlessly and it's just you don't kind of feel the pressure?
I think with I think there's a kind of we've always had a very high standard of what we want to make and what we like, and we have always held ourselves to a very high standard even before the BAFTA. And I think the BAFTA has probably cemented that we don't want to, we want to do things well and keep that going. But yeah, I would say we've always been very particular about every detail of the show and every sort of decision about how the characters are going to behave, and we've always paid very close attention to everything. So we
Mhm.
just, yeah, that's just been something that's always happened. And I think actually as it's progressed, there's been more interference maybe when
Mm.
or more sort of people wanting to chip in once it became a BAFTA award winning show. And once there's a film, it's kind of like people's eyes are on it a bit more. But to be fair to the BBC and to Universal, we've always been allowed
Yeah,
to do our vision, right? And to,
definitely.
yeah, to present like and to work in a way that allows us to do what we do best, basically, and
And
not.
details is that it's exactly what you're saying. It's
Mm,
about, and like quality control as well. Like there's four of us, like, you know, in terms of like the main characters, and like we will like overthink and overanalyze in a way that, like, you know, like if we have an idea, all of us boys will contribute and be like, we need to make this the best version. And it's
Mhm.
always the best joke wins. Like if we have a great idea, we all love it. Like we go for it. But yeah, there's a lot of quality control, and we are about details. Like every
Yeah.
character has so many details, even if they're minute, you know,
Mhm.
even if it's down to what kind of ring Chabuddy wears, or how Steve's would deal with, I don't know, like, you know what I mean, his hat, or his, like, the fashion obviously is there, but
yeah,
Yeah.
everything in terms of the way they walk, they
what's on the
talk,
floor in the station, or what's
Yeah.
100%.
all of the little things that are important, and these decisions. And to be fair, Jack Clough as well, the
He's a
director,
details guys.
he's a very as pedantic as we are, so he's very much on the pulse of all of that stuff as well, and making sure
Yeah.
that we're looped in so that he can make sure that we're involved in those conversations. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
very collaborative and very I think that's what comes through in the final products, hopefully, is that
Yeah.
it's like the details are there.
there is so much messages to take away from Big in Japan. Even just looking at the characters, Asim and Steve, even looking at your characters, Asim, your one with in terms of perseverance, not allowing another new manager or an A&R to come and take over and be like, no, these are my guys, I'm going to come back for them. And even at the very end where it seems like you fired yourself, but you still came back because these are your boys. And then obviously, Steve, with you, courage. Ultimately just courage and just stepping up to actually have
lip-sync gal and that.
I mean, but these are still everyday kind of messages and life lessons that you kind of teach people. Was that something consciously put in the script that you wanted the audience to take away from it?
Well, it's like exactly what you said. Perseverance is every character needed to have an end goal, with a battle they're fighting. Like with Steve's, a journey with Steve's, it was like, like we were saying earlier, he's basically involved in a love story that he's not aware he's in. Like she's in a love story. He doesn't clock until like the end, until Decoy's like, bruv, she fancies you. Just
exactly.
Like, it's not that deep, but he still has to have the courage because like he's never been with a girl before. Like Steve isn't that kind of guy. No. And Chabuddy's the same. Like Chabuddy has to find a way to weasel his way in and benefit off this without really doing anything. And I think there's a line in a way he's like, I'm not the best manager, but I'm a good mate.
I like how he tries to figure everything out. I think the best part of that film was when there was in the scene of where he's in a hotel and he's having drinks and buying everyone drinks, but just the realization of when everything settles in was just funny to me, man. I just like that part. But then he just always finds a way to come back and
he
what I mean? He never has a doubt. He never quits. And I love that about him. Honestly, I love that about him. I mentioned obviously what you wanted to audience to take away as well. But in terms of Big in Japan, how was it like even filming out there? The locals being around there, just shooting the movie in there. What was it like for you? Obviously, I know it wasn't some of you guys' first time experiences. You guys did go out there a year before to do some writing, but what was it like actually filming it, settling into that culture?
I mean, on one level, it's like completely wild and like we're in this sort of alien world almost where, it is almost overwhelming when you look at being in Tokyo itself is just quite an intense experience. But the way that our crew set up, we have quite a small number of people. We had the same crew, a lot of the same crew. We had the same like DOP, the same makeup artists. We had our crew came with us. So, and it was still very small and we were light on our feet. So we were running around like the streets of Tokyo essentially, or going into these quite kind of crowded like areas and filming and stuff. And it made it feel similar to the way that we shoot here. And it didn't feel like we were suddenly shooting something completely different. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It didn't feel like different to the TV show. In that
we were out of our comfort zone, but also kind of in our comfort zone because we had our people around us. And also when we work with each other, like in terms of us boys, we could be anywhere as long as we're there together. We're cracking jokes, like I mean, we make people comfortable around us. We forget all the stuff, big movie stuff. We're there just cracking jokes. We create that atmosphere on set where it's like a family, and it's like the most important thing isn't getting the shot. I mean, that's important. The most important thing is everyone's enjoying themselves and creating a good vibe, and that creates, especially for comedy.
That's how you get the shot.
Yeah, that's how you get the
shot. And that's how we've always worked. And I think Universal and BBC films were both very aware of that and wanted to make sure that we didn't lose that in the film, because that would be the worst thing, is for us to go out there, be overwhelmed, not be able to perform the way that we normally do, and to make something that doesn't have the same sort of chemistry or the same like banter, or because I wanted to ask one
more question before Rob cuts me off. It's all right. I know this is a mockumentary, but will there ever be a point where you guys ever do something outside of being a mockumentary? Has that ever been in the talks?
In character?
It could be in character, out of character, where you write something else. Has that been a talk where all of you collectively do something different other than it being a mockumentary, basically?
I think we could do. I mean, it would be a good challenge to do something, because we've done a mockumentary for so long. I guess we could. I mean, we have done little bits of promo and stuff. That's kind of, I guess that is still a mockumentary.
I guess we always play with formats in our characters. So with the characters, we've done like podcasts, and we've done like more kind of documentaries that are like, you know, Steve's did a little documentary about being abducted by aliens and sort of stuff like that. So it's sort of, there's always been these kind of crossovers into other areas, but as ourselves, as kind of writers, I guess that's something that we definitely, I imagine in the future we'll be writing together on other stuff. Like we're already developing some things together, and like, so yeah, we're big fans of each other as writers and as performers. So I feel like naturally we're gravitating towards each other.
Yeah. All right, thank you guys.